Bitcoin and the cryptos move in tandem pretty much. Um, is many-fold, but one of the big reasons is that on exchanges, most of the time it's Bitcoin that leads the price of other cryptos because as the price of Bitcoin goes down, the pairs that you can trade Bitcoin for Veritasium, and all of a sudden Veritasium gets cheaper and cheaper as the price of Bitcoin gets cheaper and cheaper. Things like that. Um, Along with just the sentiment, all traders think exactly the same, and they see cryptos moving up, and they've always moved up together before and down, and vice versa. And anyway, that let's just not talk about that. But what I do want to talk about is we have expiration date coming up for the Bitcoin COMEX futures contracts, and that is on the 25th of May, which is what, Friday. No, it's not a big deal, but it is part of a deal. The manipulators use that as well as other tools to manipulate the price of Bitcoin, and they were apparently shorting it, and those who control it are short, so they're going to press the price down at least until Friday. I think the cutoff time is 10 o'clock maybe. So I expect next week and next month to be substantially better for the cryptos. Bitcoin kind of leading the way, but mainly the altcoins really moving because we're moving into that time where we need the altcoins. Another sign that the crypto Bitcoin suppression is going to end is this update from mountgoxlegal.com, a bunch of lawyers working for the creditors. And here's an update they gave on May 18th. We originally calculated that the sale of 16,000 coins that moved should be enough to cover all assets. While it's regrettable that the court and trustee considers they need cash to cover all the assets before moving forward, we concluded there's nothing we can do about it. We looked at ways to challenge it legally, but there's nothing we could practically do. This has to do with the amount of coins needed to satisfy the creditors. That's the only reason for the Mt. Gox trustee to sell the Bitcoin in its possession. Once that is satisfied, once all the creditors have been satisfied, then you can move into the restructuring of Mt. Gox, which means there'll be no more sales of the Bitcoin Cash, and any other cryptos, other forks that are there. Really interesting thought experiment. Because clearly the trustee was doing this all on purpose. And they have a little more ammo left, but not a lot, without explaining themselves even more. Let's see. Further movements of 8,000 coins caused some alarm, as some people thought it implied that the trustee was on track to liquidate everything. Our lawyer's view is that this is not the case, but that we should recalculate to allow for delay payment interest. The bankruptcy statute allows for 5 or 6% interest per annum interest. So the trustee will need at least 20% more cash than we had originally considered. Again, it's disappointed. So many coins need to be sold, and we can only hope the trustee is getting a good price for them. He said he is selling them in a way that will not affect the market. This suggests he's selling them to a holder such as an ETF-type institution. We'll find out in the course of time. I think that's bullshit. I think he is working with the bad guys, or the good guys, I'm not sure, to suppress the price still. Our lawyer has met with the trustee and has had conversations with his team. He's asked me not to divulge the details he shared with me, but the information he gave me left me confident that the credit resolution will be approved. The trustee has to arrange Mt. Gox's finances in such a way that it will meet the conditions set out by ITO, which is, I think, the judge, and the court can then approve the credit resolution. There seems to be willing from all parties involved, but it will take some more time and probably the sale of more Bitcoins. Now, this was on the 18th. As well as stockpiling the requisite amount of cash. The trustee also has to establish a trust vehicle to hold the assets that flow into the CR. Once this is done, the conditions for approving these CRs should be met, and the court can give the green light. The suggestion is that all creditors vote on being paid through the bankruptcy, better for fiat claims, or allowing your claim to roll over into the trust, which then receives the assets left over after fiat claims have been settled, and distribute them under the CR plan, although in exchange or directly with the help of a third-party bespoke crypto payment platform and bank transfers. So they're talking about, when is this over? When can the trustee move itself or agree, sell enough cryptos to move out of bankruptcy? The creditors are all satisfied, and then it's decided what to do with the remaining Bitcoin. But let's look at what Bitcoin was sold as of late. So this is a site that tracks it. It's called cryptoground.com/mt/cold/wallet/monitor. And it has all the cold storage Bitcoin and when the trustee moved it out. So you can tell the red is the moving out, and then the date of the last transactions on the right there. So in April is when they started moving them out again. So let's see how many they've done, right? Okay, going back to the April 26th was when that big clump came out. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. 8,000 in April. And that was what they had talked about. In this, they said, where was it? We originally calculated that the sale of 16,000 coins. So they had looked at 16,000 as the number. And then we got right here, we got more sales in May 10th. Wait, no, hang on. These dates are all screwed up. So 8,000 in May, and then there's another one, 2,000. That's 10,000, 12, 14, 16. Well, 16,000. That's it. So there have been more coins sold since this May 18th update. The 16,000, they said they needed 20% more cash. So they expected more sales, and then they got them. And here are the sales. So let's see, 16,000 plus. Here's a sale May 10th of 2,214. What else? May 10th again, 2,000. That's 4,000. May 10th again, 6,000. May 10th, 8,000. So 8,214. Which puts us kind of almost right there. 20% more. I don't know. So trustee will need at least 20% more cash than we had originally considered. Okay, so they got the 16,000. So they even called it. They said they'll probably be selling more, and now they've sold more. I forgot what the overall is. 200 down to one. So they sold 40. I think it was 40,000 plus 16. So it's, if they needed 20% more of the 400 million, 80 million. So yeah, we should be just about done. And it comes out to, yeah. So I think we are looking at potentially the end of the Mt. Gox trustees sales. Then they have to do some structuring. You know, what they said here is they have to do some structuring as far as putting together, as well as stockpiling the requisite amount of cash, which I believe they have now done. The trustee also has to establish a trust vehicle to hold the assets that flow into the credit resolution vehicle. So that's the thing. After you come out of bankruptcy, it goes to the CR. Once that's done, the conditions for approving the CR should be met, and the court can give the green light. So I would say we are done with the Mt. Gox sales for the most part. And that is good news. Now, as to what's going to happen when it's taken out of this entity and put into the new CR, I believe, well, Mark Karpalis is going to own a big chunk of it. Supposedly, he says he doesn't even want the Bitcoin. I would assume it's those the creditors who lost will have another claim against them, and maybe they will figure out a way to hand out the Bitcoin to those who lost their Bitcoin, which would be probably the most fair thing to do, and definitely something Karpalus wants to happen, but we will see as the lawyers will get their hands on it and all that. But I do not see much of any more sales of Bitcoin, at least not enough to suppress the price, which we have seen recently. This is amazingly good news, in my opinion, because we've been going through this crap for quite a while. And yeah, it's great news. From the Mt. Gox legal site, it looks like we're there, if not at least close to there, but there as far as the trustee being done selling the Mt. Gox Bitcoin. Bravo! Bravo! Nice manipulation of the price of Bitcoin. All the people who were in charge of that, and I count Buffett and Gates and Munger and all those mouthpieces who came out. And then, of course, the social media. Good job. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube for all saying, oh, we're going to ban all the cryptos. You guys, you did a wonderful job in rigging the crypto markets. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of yourself. Now it's time for the cryptos to take over and kick your ass. So I'll talk to you all later. This is Bix Weir, Road to Ruta. Make sure you like this. Send it to everybody you know.